city, specifically with the case of Jim, primarily to investigate and prosecute all officers and officials who are guilty of murdering Jim Rogers, to release the names of the officers who responded on the scene during the Jim Rogers case, to release the names of EMS officials and disclose why Jim was not given medical care, to arrest and charge Officer Keith Edmonds and the other unidentified officers with murder. I say again, people's justice for Jim Rogers!
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 As I said before, and I'll say again, we say that Keith Edmonds and Ed Gainey are not only deflecting, but they are projecting. Keith Edmonds divided himself in the black community the day that he chose to put on crew and harass the black people of the city. He divided himself even further the day that he tased Jim 4 times and left him on the ground for over 20 minutes. Ed Gainey brought more violence into our homes the day that he asserted that black people need more cops in our communities to keep us safe. Meanwhile, these cops murdered Jim Rogers. These cops work for the same state government that implemented drugs into black communities through the war on drugs. And as I said before, these same cops plant drugs on the black people who they kill, on the working people who they kill, so they can justify the things that they do. We know this to be the truth. We know that these two enemies that I've named are not alone or special in their violence against the people. They are merely a part of a matched set. A matched set of defenders of imperialism and a matched set of cops and politicians. They all act the same way. They simply have different tactics. That's why we stand here today to demand people's justice for Jim Rogers as the only people who will bring justice, and we can only win what we demand through struggle that we take up ourselves. These demands that y'all see around here, these were written and gone over by the members of this family of Jim. These demands are, we demand that they release the names of all officers who responded to the scene of Jim Rogers' arrest, that they investigate and arrest and prosecute all officers and officials guilty of murdering Jim Rogers. That's why we have these signs of these unidentified officers, these pictures all over. Because we refuse to only talk about Keith Edmonds, we will talk about all of them who equally had a place in the death of Jim Rogers, but principally Keith Edmonds as the person who tased him. He's a whore. Our third demand is to arrest and charge Keith Edmonds and the other unidentified officers with murder of Jim Rogers. To release all unedited body camera footage, call logs, and surveillance tapes from Mercy Hospital, because we ask what happened in that time that Jim left Harriet Street and arrived at Mercy Hospital. The cops only tell us lies of things that are untrue, and we know that we need the call logs unedited, that we need the body camera footage unedited, that we need the surveillance tapes unedited, because it is up to the people to make these determinations on justice. We also ask that they release the names, we demand that they release the names of the EMS officials and to disclose why Jim Rogers was deprived of medical care on scene. Why did he have to go to Mercy Hospital? Why did they drive past Penn Hospital? know why. We don't even really need to see the tapes to see that, to be honest. But we still demand that they be prosecuted, because we know what those tapes are gonna say. They're gonna say that they didn't care about this man who they just hurt, and they were gonna take him to Allegheny County Jail, even though they just tased him 4 times, even though he seized and went to cardiac arrest in the car. They were gonna drive him to Allegheny County Jail because they viewed him as a prisoner, as a criminal, before a human being. And that is what these cops do. Enemy of the people, Pittsburgh police.
Enemy of the people! Pittsburgh police! Enemy of the people! Pittsburgh police!